The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Dr. So you think that kids are being brainwashed by schools. Talk about that.
Absolutely. I think that these activists are actually grooming children into this ideology. And the most disturbing part is that they're doing this behind parents' back. So in the lawsuits that I mentioned, there have been 2 that have been filed in Florida, 1 that was filed in California. In all of these cases, they're eerily similar because there's a child born female who has decided to identify as male or as a third gender. This is without the parent's knowledge or consent. In some cases, the child is using male spaces, staying overnight on school trips with their male peers, again, without the parents knowing. In one case, there was suicidal ideation with the child. And so the parents are understandably upset. And they say, I would be much more accepting and open to this if I was involved in the conversation. So of course, I don't want to speak for the parents, but from the parents that I've spoken to, there have been so many cases of this. So many. This is so prominent. This is such a problem. I think you cannot deny that this is happening. And of course, I'm in favor of ending bullying and ending discrimination against transgender people. But sometimes the kind thing to do is not to just go along with what someone wants you to do, especially not children. Sometimes the kind thing to do is to actually push back and question them as to why they feel the way they do instead of just going along with it.
And Dr. Bowers, I want to come right back to you. So what is your response to educators encouraging kids to keep gender exploration a secret from their parents?
The role of the schools is not to enforce the law. I mean, if somebody's dealing drugs, of course, you're going to turn them in. But, if you don't know how parents are going to react. So if a child is exploring their gender feelings at school, that may be a safe space for them. If you were to say that, we saw your son kissing another boy at school and you told the parents, that child could be beaten or treated very severely. So we don't want to put the schools in an awkward position of being the social police. However, it really does point out the fact that communication is so important. And how is it that a child who's clearly exhibiting gender non-conforming behavior, that the parents are completely unaware of that? I mean, this just points out the fact that parenting is very difficult, and we really need to be supportive of all individuals and get parents talking.
I think parents should be supportive, but I don't think that necessitates a child transitioning or living as a third gender, because in many cases, there are other reasons why that child is identifying that way. And those are things that are not being talked about that are very important.
There's a conspiracy out there or a committee trying to recruit kids to change their gender. And that's simply not true. The fact that
there has actually been reporting. One of my colleagues has actually reported on this, how teachers actually, they snoop on what the kids are doing at school and the internet searches and eavesdrop on their conversations to target them with this ideology.
With all due
Dr.
respect,
Marci, I don't know how you deny this.
When you take these isolated incidents and you fearmonger, this is what people do when new areas of social trending are questioned. It's understandable that there's feedback. This stuff is scary. And as a parent, of course, we need to explain this better in relatable terms that people can understand. This is not scary. This is the future, and it can be done in a controlled way. Obviously, there needs to be science. Obviously, there needs to be good mental health care, but it doesn't have to be a threat, and it doesn't have to lead to hormones and surgery. This is a natural state, and it should be celebrated, not shut down or killed.